This is Profiles in Childcare, brought to you by the Advanced TRF Childcare Collaborative. I am Michele Landsberg, a member of the collaborative. Today, it's my pleasure to be talking to Michele Hutchinson with First Children's Finance. Hi, Michele.
Hi, Michele.
Two Michelles, you can't beat that, right?
Right.
So welcome to this episode of Profiles in Childcare. Can you tell us a little bit about your background in childcare, Michele?
Well, I started as a childcare provider. I had a group home from 1994 to 1997, where that childcare had a special playroom, and I used most of my house. And then from 2002 to 2009, we built a new home, and the whole lower level was separated for its own childcare by itself. And then in 2009 through 2011, my whole home again was a childcare. In 2014 through 2016, my daughter and I got a childcare together in a separate home that we didn't live in. And we did childcare in that for 2 years. I've also worked as a center teacher and a home visitor with the Head Start program, and as a director of a nonprofit childcare center. I have my bachelor's degree in early childhood education from Concordia College of St. Paul.
Wow, so you really have a very deep, I would say, background in childcare and very diverse. So you bring a lot of experience and knowledge with you to this field. That's awesome.
Thank you.
And now you are in this role with First Children's Finance. So let's just start talking a little bit about the organization first, and then we'll talk about your role in the organization. So can you tell us a little bit about First Children's Finance?
Well, First Children's Finance was started in 1991 as a CDFI, which is a community development financial institution. It became a nonprofit in 2006. Our mission is to grow the supply and business sustainability of excellent childcare. So we work on 3 different levels. We work on the individual business level, we work on the community level, and the systems level. We help children, families, and communities thrive by increasing the availability, affordability, and quality of childcare and education. And we do this through providing financial and business assistance to childcare business owners and building partnerships that connect these vital businesses with resources of the public and private sectors.
Wow, that's awesome. I'm really thankful for the work of First Children's Finance, and it's been fun. I've gotten to interface and work with you a little bit as well. So maybe let's just turn our attention to that now for a little bit. What is your role with First Children's Finance?
Well, I hadn't even heard of First Children's Finance when I was a childcare provider. I first heard of them when I started as director at Discovery Place. I enrolled in a free training called a business leadership cohort, and that was 4 sessions with other directors. And then there was free consultation services with the business development specialist. And then with working with this specialist and through my own grant writing, that nonprofit was not only sustainable, but was able to update the facility and have money left over. So at that time, then the business development specialist for our region had left her position to go to the loan team. And that's when I started at First Children's Finance as a business development specialist. So I work with childcare providers and directors by offering business consultations. We also do free trainings on Develop or in person. And all of these services are free through generous funding from DHS. And then the business leadership cohort that I mentioned earlier also now has a 3-point parent-aware rating that will go towards that rating system. And then also you can access a grant of $1,000 for family childcare or $2,500 for center directors, just for taking the free trainings. Our grants department has a revitalization grant, and with funding of up to $15,000 for family childcare and $20,000 for childcare centers. I also can work with communities as a consultant to offer a supply analysis, recommendations of sustainable childcare models, and technical expertise on local policy and financial incentives. Communities that go through the Rural Childcare Innovation Program or the Childcare Strategic Supply Plan are also eligible to apply for our community grants of up to $30,000.
Wow, that's quite a resource. And wow, the depth of the services you provide is really broad.
Mhm.
I was going to ask you what specifically you do to help providers, but I think you've covered that. Is there
Yep,
anything
it's
else?
like I said, that we can work one-on-one with them to do the financial analysis, rate studies. We help them with their center policies or their business policies, contracts. And then with that business analysis, it's like you take a deep dive into if you have a center, you look at what each room is doing. And then as a family home provider, you can look at what it would look like if I did raise my rates. What will it look like if I was in a different, or if I was in the food program versus not being in the food program, things like that. We can look at this or that so you can make good business plans.
That's great. You know, I've been involved in business development for many years, and historically, I don't think childcares have been viewed as businesses, which is,
Right.
it's just not right. They are businesses. And so you bring that business lens, and I think that's fantastic, because certainly we want our childcares to be financially viable, to be successful so they can continue. And I think this type of business analysis and help that you provide is just such a great thing. So what geographic areas do you serve, Michele?
The 12 counties of Northwest Minnesota. So it starts with Roseau, Kitson, Marshall, Polk, Pennington, Red Lake, Norman, Mahnomen, Beltrami, Hubbard, Clearwater, and Lake of the Woods.
Awesome. So if someone is interested in reaching out to you and receiving services from First Children's Finance, how would they get a hold of you?
So have a phone that you could call 218-288-2601, or you can email me at Michele, Micheleh at firstchildrensfinance.org.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Michele. This has been great. Thanks for sharing your story with us. That's Profiles in Childcare, brought to you by the Advanced TRF Childcare Collaborative. Be sure to follow us on Facebook at Advanced TRF Childcare and on YouTube at Advanced Thief River. Thanks.